I'm Mason Mount. You're listening to the London is Blue podcast.
All right, Chelsea fans, welcome to our official FA Cup match preview against Leicester. I'm just kidding. We're not that American. Leicester City in the FA Cup. We've got myself, Brandon, Dan, and Nick joining me. Nick obviously brought us plus one to this party.
By Jack Daniel's Single Barrel.
I don't know if that's
treat.
official. Anyways, what we're going to do in this one is we're going to talk about how seriously should we take the FA Cup, and then we're going to give you our lineup predictions. All right, so it seems to be a winning recipe for us so far, Dan. Well, not really for you and I. Nick, unfortunately, has been taking the cake when it comes to predictions. So before we get into that, let's kind of broaden it up a little bit. And how seriously should...
Wait. Nick was down on the idea. I'm going to take a draw. Oh, I think we'll win. Oh, Drew's going to start. I think it's going to be Tammy. We're giving Nick a little too much credit.
Who predicted Christensen would play and play well? Bing.
Did you also predict Billy Gilmore was going to start?
I did, yeah.
All right. Well, anyways, maybe I'm just the overwhelming loser on that. But real quick, how seriously should Frank and the club take the FA Cup? Obviously, Chelsea have a great history of winning said cup, but these times are different. Post-COVID, a match every 3 days, FA Cup crammed in. We're playing Leicester City, who are 1 point above us in the table in third place. So there could be some psychological warfare going on with this. But in your mind, how important is this in Chelsea's season right now?
It's a trophy. Chelsea is synonymous with silverware. We are not Tottenham. We're not Arsenal. We are not a team that is okay with just a fourth place finish. Like getting a top four finish this season is going to be great. It's going to feel fantastic. But we look at our trophy cabinet and we judge success by the silverware, not just the league table position. And so while I definitely understand that there are things like rotation to consider, there are things like very, very short turnarounds from one match to the next, and this adds, if we advance, another match onto the calendar. But we are not a team that competes for table position.
I mean, so are you saying strongest lineup available?
I think there will be some rotation, but I think you have to go out with a mentality to win, which means some of the people who have played the last two games have to be in this lineup.
All right, well, we'll get to that. Nick, what's your take on the priority of the FA Cup in this condensed, last run of the Premier League season?
I mean, Dan's right in the fact that Chelsea always want to go out and win, right? And will give full effort. Chelsea are not a lackadaisical, hey, we might take this seriously, we may not take this one seriously type of team. Typically, I mean, in our history, have we done that? Of course, but is it the priority over finishing in a Champions League spot? It's just not. Like it can't be. You're bringing in high-priced signings who expect to play Champions League football next year, and who are joining Chelsea to go on this quest to win another Champions League. I think you take it seriously for sure. You want to win the match. You want to beat Leicester. By far, we have the toughest of the quarterfinal matches going on the road to the King Power. But is it the priority of our two priorities right now outside of the Champions League comeback that's going to happen, obviously? No, it's just not. And so you're going to see squad rotation because of that, right? The way that we played against Man City today, you can't expect Chelsea to expend that kind of effort again with the same exact players 3 days after they just did it. It just doesn't make sense.
Yeah, this is tough. Dan has a great point. Chelsea trophies synonymous. But we've kind of talked about this before, right? The money and the ability to recruit top talent comes through Champions League qualification. So that's where I get stuck. And the fact that, we got through Manchester City today with 3 points. I do think Chelsea are riding a high. There's momentum. We're feeling good. If we can go, and we're deeper than Leicester are in terms of squad depth. they haven't played well. So I'm assuming they're going to have some rotation just because the people they've been starting haven't produced results. I would like to think that even our rotation, we can go out there and beat them with their rotation. So
Well, here's the other thing. You talk about being competitive, though. What is more competitive and shows more intent to a potential signing that not only in a season where you lose your top contributor from a goal situation, you rotate through managers, you are the club in crisis, and you finish in third position with a domestic trophy, and now have signed not one, not two, but potentially 3 or 4 world-class players. Like, the statement of intent is to take everything fucking seriously. And I don't for a moment think that Frank Lampard or this Chelsea are the type of club or the type of individuals who want to say, I get Nick's point around the prioritization of resources because everything is finite, but I do think there is a ability from a recruitment standpoint. If you win everything that we possibly have left on the table, it makes you even more advantageous as a landing position.
well, look, the good news is our next match, we play Sunday morning against Leicester. Then we turn around and play Wednesday against West Ham. And it's away, but it's in London, right? There's really no travel involved with that. West Ham are battling Sheffield for the worst comeback award post Project Restart, which gives you a little bit of a boost. And then you play Watford. So again, if you're trying to take a week at a time or a couple games at a time, this is about as good of a situation as we could be in going into this match. Just beat City, 1 point behind Leicester. Now you take on a Leicester who is going to have to rotate. I think our chances are good. I think Frank is going to rotate, as he should, and we're still going to be competitive and have a chance to take this serious. Don't be surprised if it's not going well in the 45th minute and we see people who you would expect in our strongest lineup, maybe like a Pulisic if he doesn't start. Don't be surprised if he has to bring in, I wouldn't say N'Golo Kante because that means things have gone real south if you have to bring in a defensive player. But, whoever the top attacking players are to go chase the game, I think he'll do it. So with that being said, I think we should touch on lineups. I think we should kind of throw some names out there and we can see what happens, see how close, if at all, we are to what Frank's thinking. I would say this. We're recording this before Frank's pre-match presser. Huge gamble on our part, but based on what we know, this is what we're going to go with. So, Dan, you decide to put your lineup at the top of the script here, so I'm going to throw it to you first.
I think that's some Google Doc chicanery, but I will be comfortable going ahead of everybody else. It's fine. And we can just say that you copied mine. Kepa between the sticks, back four of Reece James, if he is healthy, Kurt Zuma, Christensen, and Azpilicueta. I think you've got a midfield three of Kovacic, Gilmore, and Loftus-Cheek. And then Willian, Tammy, and Pedro, little mix of the youth plus the senior talent to round out our starting 11.
Interesting. All right. I have gone for a 4-3-3 similarly. I've got Willian goal, kind of for no reason. Kepa's not tired, but I think Willie's earned it. And I think this is the best opportunity to give him some minutes, because after this, if we don't advance, you're not going to see Willie the rest of the season unless Kepa keeps passing it to the other team, which might happen. Reece James, if healthy, because look, Dave needs a rest. I know he's Iron Man, but he still needs a rest, even if it's for 60 minutes. I think that's important with the congestion of matches. Zuma, Rudiger, center back pairing, especially with Christensen taking a shot to the head. He had a really good game. Just let him recover. Zuma also needs minutes as well. He hasn't featured yet since we restarted. Emerson on the left purely, again, because give Alonso a break. He's now played 2 90-minute matches in a row. We're going to need, if he's our preferred left back, give him a break. I mean, Ian Matson, this might be a stretch for him. So I'm thinking Emerson, and if you want to be cynical, you put him in the shop window. Say, go go earn yourself a move somewhere, put some money in our pocket. And then for a midfield three, we have to see Jorginho. I think it's wild that we haven't seen him yet in a starting role. I think he should be able to go out there and get some minutes as well. Billy Gilmore, which is weird to have Jorginho Gilmore in the middle, but I think this might free him up to be a little bit more dynamic, a little bit more box to box. I like to see what he can do in that role. And then I think you got to balance it out with Ruben. Again, put him in the middle. Don't put him on a wing. Put him in the middle and give him at least 60 minutes to go play what I think is his best position. And then you got Pedro, Tammy, Willian up top. Look, I struggle with my front three, Nick, if I'm being honest. I know Tammy is going to play because he needs to start. I think Pedro has gotten the least minutes from an attacker. Pulisic, give him a rest, I guess. I went between him and Willian really hard. I didn't know who to go for, so I'm not really sold on my Willian pick, but I didn't know what to do. And Frank's going to have the same decision. So what is your crystal ball telling you?
Yeah, I really struggle. The midfield's where I struggled the most. I think that's where we're all kind of trying to pick out where some changes might happen. I'm going to play a 4-2-3-1 as opposed to a 4-3-3. I think that old Willie will get the starting goal. I think Reece, Zuma, Rudiger, and Emerson, for a lot of the same reasons that Brandon just mentioned, will be our back four. And frankly, for a guy like Reece James, who, we've all waxed poetic about this year, to see like 4 minutes in 2 matches tells you that maybe Azpilicueta is giving him a run for money in training. So if he does get the nod here, I really hope that we see him try and do his best to take that back, because it's going to be tough. Azpi's played pretty well so far. Yeah, same on Emerson too, by the way, Brandon. I think Alonso has given a hero's effort in the first 2 matches of the Premier League restart, but I think it would be kind of silly to start him or Azpi on the left, so it kind of defaults to Emerson. For me, I then play a Billy Gilmore, Mateo Kovacic midfield pivot with Gilmore the deeper lying of the two. Then a interesting and weirdly dynamic 3 attackers of Tino Angerin on the right, Christian Pulisic on the left, and my man Ruben Loftus-Cheek as a number 10 in the middle so that he can control play. And then a Tammy Abraham sighting as a starter up front. I think Ollie's done well in the first 2 matches overall, but it was clear kind of at the 60th minute today that his legs had kind of gone. So I think let's save him and put Tammy in and give him a real run out to see if he can stake his claim again.
Well, a lot of differences in our lineup. So obviously our graphics will be on social media pre-match. But we want to know what you think. Again, priority level. Is this the number 1 priority? Is it not a priority? Is it a trophy? Therefore, Chelsea should be going for it. Let us know. I think, look, Frank's won it. He understands the importance of it. I think for him to win a trophy for Chelsea in his first season would be a massive accomplishment and dream come true for him. So I fully expect Frank to go for it and absolutely, put the players out there. But I put my coach hat on. Dan put his, Nick as well. So now it's your turn. Send us your lineup predictions. We'll have a graphic out on game day to let you share that with us. But you know what? That's going to wrap us up. If you haven't caught us up on the full podcast, check us out. Spotify, Apple Podcasts. We put them out usually before and after every single match. We like to do these YouTube videos as well. So that's going to wrap us up. Chelsea fans, thank you so much. If you haven't subscribed, do it now. And until next time, Chelsea fans, you know what to do. Keep the blue flag flying high.